everyone, welcome to Skylighting Rage. Today we'll draw Batteryman Charger. Batteryman Charger is yet another Batteryman. I'll probably keep drawing Batterymans because it's an archetype that I like. Although the archetype is quite bad, this guy is bad as well, surprised. But I like the cards, they are simple to draw, and I think they are a good practice. Anyways, this guy is probably easier than my last drawing. Today that's okay because I actually started pretty late. So for today, I'll keep using guidelines. I started using guidelines in my previous drawing, and I think they helped a lot. Today I watched another video, this time of a guy named just some artist or a normal artist, something like that. And he advocated for the use of guidelines and said you should rely on guidelines to get your proportions correct. I can see where he's coming from, so I think I'll implement this from my drawing sessions from now on. Anyways, another thing that I'll try is that in my sketching I'll try to simplify my subject to geometric shapes. Like I'll draw some boxes and then try to fit everything in the boxes. This is another thing I saw in that video. I also looked into the shading problems we had last time, where the colors were strange, so I figured I was doing something wrong. I corrected some things, but I didn't test yet, so only time will tell. But for shading, I adjusted the colors. The idea was to use a single color for shading. That's what I learned on the video on shading I watched. So I made a little bit of an adjustment to the color I was using. I also double checked that the shading layer must be on top of the flat color layer, and the shading layer must be put on difference. Difference is this mode. Where is difference? This mode right here. I don't know exactly what it does, but let's follow the tutorial. Another thing I noticed is that the guy on the video shaded the picture without the flat colors layer turned on, so he shaded essentially a black and white picture. I'll try to do that, probably to end up pretty scuffed, but it would end up scuffed even if I had the flat color layers on, so it is what it is. Let's see how this turns out. And I also double checked my practices for doing the lights. I confirmed that to do the lights you use the overlay mode and then paint white in that layer. However, I noticed that the guy used some pretty, I don't know, pretty strange brushes, I would say, because I don't know much about brushes at all. I used mostly these ones here that I got from Control Paint, which is a course on digital painting that I started but didn't manage to follow along, so I ended up dropping, but at least I got to the part where I got the guy's brushes. I was using them, but then I realized that the guy of the video was using a completely different set of brushes, and I figured if I was gonna go after every set of brushes I would go insane and probably not get a decent use of my time. So I'll try to use these other brushes that I think come with Photoshop. I don't know what they all do. But I have them, might as well try them out. I wrote some strokes with some of them. They looked decent. Again, I don't know a good brush is supposed to look. But I figured that some of them, when I clicked on them, they selected this tool that I'm trying to select. This tool right here on the left, which is the finger. I think it's called this the smudge tool. I don't know exactly what it does, but the guy in the shading video used some brushes that were from this, I don't know, this family, this type of brushes. So maybe we can try to do that. And yeah, today we're starting pretty late, so I'll probably allocate less time for doing the lines, and consequently my drawing can end up more scuffed than normal. But yeah, what can you do? Anyways, let's start drawing. I'll finish setting things up here and we'll start. Well guys, that's it for the sketch. As always, looks like our guy got run over by a truck. I think this time I wasn't careful enough with the time. I ended up going over 10 minutes a little, but by the time I reached 10 minutes, the guy didn't even have his arms. So yeah, that's that. I spent too much time trying to get his head right. I tried to draw a box and then fit his head inside a box, but I think I'm not good with, I don't know, with distances. So I ended up making the box too small, and then everything was messed up because the box is like half of this guy's existence. So yeah, the sketch is scuffed. I ended up sketching using my classical technical pen. Here I said I would try other things, but I forgot. Oh, so that's that. Anyways, yeah, there's a lot to fix on the lines. Let's see if we can do it. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Well, that's it for the lines, guys. This was a lot more difficult than I initially anticipated. I thought this guy was gonna be simple, but it all started with the head. I got the proportions for the head really wrong in the sketch, and I had to fix it during the lines. It was a pain. I made my reference box too large, so too large, too wide. So it wasn't that good of a reference, and everything I tried to do inside of it, I got it wrong. So I essentially decided to literally compare, put the box inside, not inside, but on top of this guy's head, and finally realized my mistake. Well, yeah, so I managed to fix it. Fortunately, the other parts of the body were not a complete nightmare, with the exception of the hands. The hands were a complete nightmare. Maybe because I didn't find a high quality image, so I can't see at all those details, and that made the process incredibly, I don't know, incredibly hard. At least I had a good result on the legs. I didn't manage to get the position quite right, but I did a thing where I just, okay, if it were in this position, they would be this way. Nothing too complicated, but I think the legs turned out okay. And yeah, the head was a complete disaster. I'll try to, it's late as always, I'll try to color this, but this time using the technique where okay, I'll think I'll paint the flat colors first, and then I'll turn off the flat colors, and only then, with the flat colors turned off, I'll do the shading. Probably will end up terribly, and let's do it. Okay guys, I'm gonna call it a day here. Things ended up pretty weird. At first, I forgot I could adjust the opacity of the shading layer, so the colors were all messed up. Like, we bump up the opacity to 100%. This guy becomes orange instead of pink. But thankfully, we can adjust the opacity. Maybe I should have put it even lower. But hey, at least now we know we can do that. In the end, I think shading the picture in black and white did not yield that many benefits. The problem is with my shading technique. Clearly, I have to improve at it. But at least we can, I don't know, at least we can see a way to improve. This drawing was scuffed from the start because of the head of this guy. It gave me so much trouble. I had to rush things. I didn't have time to properly at least try to shade his balls at the head, none of the details as well, none of the fingers. But anyway, it is what it is. This time I tried an approach that was kind of a middle ground between what I tried in my previous drawing, which was draw everything in one layer, and what I tried in my other drawings, which was at least create a kind of a separation in my drawing, creating groups for each of the parts. I don't think that mixing those approaches was the best idea, as I had to create a bunch of layers for shading and lights that basically ignored one of the advantages of the approach of shading I was using, which was to use one color and supposedly only one layer for shading. So yeah, I'll probably have to stick with one of those approaches. Maybe the one with less layers is better for me, because I don't have to organize this stuff, and yeah, I have to press less buttons and then create less layers. And at the moment, this is the shading technique I'm going with. Maybe there's another shading technique that's better with multiple layers, or maybe I'm doing something wrong and I don't know, I just have to create a layer on top of it all and shade that and it works. But yeah, we took a long time shading. I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, I guess it's a lesson learned for next time. Anyways, let's just sign and call it a day. Well, thank you guys. I hope to see you all in the next one. And yeah, see you around.